Hi everyone, I'm Jason Kelly and we are here at ISE 2026 in Barcelona, and today we're going to introduce to you RoomSuite Modular System. Now you may already be familiar with Q-SYS, a great solution when you need a truly unique, customizable experience in your high impact spaces or even your medium or large meeting rooms. And on the other side of the spectrum, you get your smaller meeting rooms where maybe a video bar is a perfectly suitable solution. Where RoomSuite comes in is sort of in between. It's really intended for the medium to large meeting spaces that need to be both simple to configure, easy to deploy, and simple to scale. Let's dig in. So it's all about being simplified. So on the hardware side, we consolidate hardware to make it easier to do more with less hardware in the space. We use an intuitive web-based workflow to make configuration simple and quick. And finally, by connecting to our remote monitoring and management platform, Q-SYS Reflect, we make it super easy to scale those systems. So there's a few things we have to solve in a room like this. So at the front of the room, we have a couple displays, we have our network loudspeakers, we have a camera, and we may need to integrate a UC compute. On the table, we have network microphones, we have a touchscreen, and we also may need to support BYOD connectivity. So first off, we have the RMP100 processor. This consolidates what could be 3 devices in a meeting space to just one single unit. So first off, we have our switch. So that's where I'm going to be able to connect all my PoE devices, such as my camera, my ceiling microphone, my network loudspeakers. Additionally, I have my auxiliary ports. That's going to let me connect to my corporate network or to tie to Q-SYS Reflect. And then finally, we have our HDMI I/O, which will let me input a HDMI source or act as my video decoder if I'm sharing content from the table to 1 or 2 displays in the space. And it does also include RS-232 and GPIO for control of some of the devices you're going to have in this type of space. Now that device connects directly to the QIO VEN4 expander. Now that unit is going to live under the meeting table, and that's going to connect to your devices on the table. So your network microphones, your network touchscreens, and just as important, it's going to offer you USB-C connectivity for your AV bridging. So that's going to ensure that if a user needs to bring their laptop into the meeting space, they can easily bridge the room's audio and video feeds to the far end. And let's talk modular. So there's plenty of collaboration devices to choose from in the Q-SYS portfolio to really build to the needs of your space. We have NL series loudspeakers, soundbars, pendant, and ceiling options. We have our NC series network cameras, both PTZ models and ePTZ models, such as our brand new NC90G2, and our TSC series network touchscreens, our NM series tabletop microphones, and we're also compatible with Dante-enabled ceiling microphones, such as Sennheiser, Shure, Audio-Technica, you name it. Now, it's not just about connecting all these devices in the space. We need to ensure that the room sounds the best it possibly can. And we take some of that work out of your hands with room system optimization. And that is exactly what it sounds like. It's automatic audio commissioning for your RoomSuite systems. And it's really quite simple. It's a 3 to 5 minute process that's going to test the reverb, noise, and echo in your space. Then it's going to automatically EQ the space to make sure your system sounds the best it possibly can. Now, to talk about the intuitive configuration workflow, I'm going to toss it over to my friend Josh Arnold to tell you about it.
Hello everyone. For this next part, we're going to take a quick look at the new simplified web-based RoomSuite Manager application and just show you how easy it is to configure a RoomSuite modular system. So this experience begins on the devices page here in the RoomSuite Manager. That first process to connect products to the system, simply connect them to the RMP100 processor, connect them to the expander, and they'll show up in this software. And really, this is the point at which you're really just confirming that the devices you intend to have in your system are in fact connected and the status is good and healthy and ready to go. Once we confirm that pairing of those devices, all those statuses of those devices are going to be used to create the baseline for the system health reporting that gets viewed in this application, but also sent up to Q-SYS Reflect. Once we've paired those devices, we're going to move on to the video I/O configuration. This is going to allow you to enable those local inputs on the processor that might be used in the end user application, as well as the video connections at the expander device. So keep in mind when we enable and disable these settings, those are going to be important because they're used to automatically generate the user interface that's presented on the touch panel. So once we've configured the video I/O, I do want to just call out, there are multiple modes of operation that we can run the RoomSuite modular system in. Today, we're configuring a BYOD-based system where we don't have an external UC compute. I've brought the meeting into this room on my laptop and presenting content directly into the system using that single cable USB-C connection. But no, we do have plans for supporting UC room systems. And in that application, you're going to bring that UC compute into the system, and depending on if it's a Microsoft Teams room or Zoom room, replace that controller with a certified third-party controller. So let's move on and talk a little bit more about the audio commissioning aspect. Given the fact that it takes up to 3 to 5 minutes, we're going to assume that we've run that process and we've got a highly intelligible meeting room. But what happens if we want to make some small tweaks to that? We want you to know that this is not a one-size-fits-all, not an all-or-nothing statement about the optimization process. And let's say I get in that meeting space and I just need to change the level on one of the microphones in that space. So we still give you that flexibility with the user interface here to adjust all of the audio parameters within the signal flow. And keep in mind, all of the audio processing that you see here, your equalization, your dynamics processing, your acoustic echo cancellation, these are all the same algorithms that run in our core-based system. We're still running the Q-SYS OS, running that Q-SYS audio engine, and you'll get that same quality whether you're using a Q-SYS core-based system or the RoomSuite modular system. One point to call out in this interface, we do have Dante input support, our certified third-party integrations with our partner microphone companies like Sennheiser, Shure, Audio-Technica, and Yamaha. This is the part in the software where you integrate those microphones into this workflow. So you'll have to go in and manually configure things like the acoustic echo canceller settings, possibly the input EQ, and just know if there are other onboard capabilities of those microphones, you'll configure those in the third-party manufacturer's software. So let's move on and talk a little bit about our camera support. We do support up to 2 cameras in the system. Right now we have a rear-mounted PTZ camera. We're capturing Jeff at the front of the room, and the use case we're typically supporting in this system is the ability to capture a presenter in a meeting where you might have that person at the front of the room that's providing that presentation, but also need to switch between that presenter mode and the front of room camera for your normal everyday meeting operations. So just a little call out here, we are using the new NC90 G2 camera. We do have some additional AI enhanced modes in this camera. Right now we've got it set in active speaker framing. It's capturing me as I speak. And if Jeff were to speak in the room, that would capture him as well. And that's all supported by the internal microphones that are on this camera. So there is no complexity of having to configure microphone lobes and trigger zones. Just know it's a very easy one-button setup for that active speaker framing. So now we're going to go on and talk about the room controls and touch panel customization. As I noted earlier, this user interface is automatically generated from those settings that we configured before in the initial system configuration. On the left-hand side here, you'll see a navigation pane that's very user-friendly, easy for that end user in the meeting to have quick access to the functions that they want to use on an everyday basis. In addition to that ease of use, we do have that flexibility to go further and customize this for your application. So for example, we've got some great color palette options for that theming, a simple color palette mode, and also an advanced mode that lets you go in and adjust most of the parameters of that user interface. Icons, text, button colors, those are all supported within this software. In addition, we give you the flexibility to add a background image, maybe add a logo for that the alignment with any corporate branding standards that you might have in your projects. And lastly, we do have the capability to input a welcome message to really invite that end user into the meeting, maybe provide some instructive text on how to use the space, and also an integrated help button or help menu that allows further information to be presented to the user if should they have a problem in that space, how to reach out to their local support contact inside their organization. So moving on to the room controls configuration, this is the part of the software where you will customize the user interface. In addition, we have support for some occupancy-driven functionality. So that RMP100 processor does have a general purpose input that connects to your general purpose PIR occupancy sensor. In this space, we're using a QED sensor switch occupancy sensor to drive the motion detection in the space and automate those displays.
Now, we talked about configuration and deployment of one system, but what if you need to scale that to 10 or even 20 or more systems that are exactly like that one room? Well, that's where you can take advantage of Q-SYS Reflect. So Q-SYS Reflect is our remote monitoring and management platform that gives you a bird's eye view into the system health status of all of your connected systems. That includes RoomSuite and your core-based systems. But where the real value add comes in with RoomSuite is through the use of presets in Q-SYS Reflect Plus. Now, with presets, I can save the configuration for one system, and then I can quickly deploy that using Reflect to the rest of my systems in the organization. So if I have 10 or 20 of the same room, I've effectively built all of those systems in the same amount of time it takes me to configure one system. And then from there, I still have plenty of opportunity to go into my configuration tool and make any adjustments or deploy bulk firmware updates if necessary. That's where it all ties together at the very end. So that's simplified configuration, simplified deployment, and simplified management and deployment at scale.